moves slow, time moves fast. In this dance we call the past. Mental health, a fragile thread, but we'll find strength. Let love spread, life's a climb. Just take a step, rise above, find your breath. In the darkness we will find a shining light to free our mind, to free our mind. Self-will blooms like petals bloom, shedding tears will heal the wounds and the chaos. Let's find peace, embrace the pain, let it release.
Relax your mind. It's divine time.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? This is your boy, Donnelly Divine. This is another episode of Divine Time. With it, I have with me a very special guest and also my possible future co-host. With it, I have Tanisha with me, and she's here to speak her truth. And with it, I have on my left side, Dolly. Now, with that going into it, Tanisha, you want to give a little background about yourself?
Audio drop? I couldn't hear nothing. You paused.
I paused? I was asking
Yeah.
if you wanted to give a little background of yourself.
What do I say? I'm Tanisha. I was born and raised in the Bahamas. Whoop, whoop. What else? 27 years old. Am I? What else? I don't know.
All right.
That's a little part of it.
I'll help you a little bit. I'll help you a little bit. So with it, what has been your what are some things that you enjoy doing?
Helping people. I think it's a natural nature of me to just help. It doesn't matter the situation. It doesn't matter, like, if you're homeless or if you're just a random person. It's just my nature to help. So that's one of my things I enjoy doing, and it's just natural.
With that, if you're ready to speak your truth, I'll go ahead and the floor is yours.
Okay. So I was in, I can't say 1 year, a year and a half relationship that just ended maybe about 5 or 6 months ago. In the relationship, I felt that we were a great couple at first. And he was an entertainer. I was just a cook at the time. And I think I needed something new in my life. So I chose a partner that I never had before. And when I chose that partner, I didn't know what all would have came with it, with him working in entertainment. And I just went with the flow. We met in the bar. We dated shortly. So it was like maybe about 3 weeks into a month of us finally deciding that we are going to be in a relationship. And I think I pushed it. I pushed it because when I when he introduced me to his mom, I kind of forced myself to say, hey, I'm his girlfriend. He didn't really said it out of his mouth. I think I did. And I kind of didn't read the room before I entered. So in that relationship, I just I was the one who said most things or done most things. We enjoyed the first couple months. It was going naturally. Every time he had a gig or something, I'll be there, or any jobs or anything of any such, I'll be there. I think I was compassionate in the relationship, and I was the one who had, the thrive, the push to say, okay, let's keep this going. Within the 6th month of our relationship, I was trying to plan dates to go out, eat, hang out with his friends, he hang out with my friends, introduce him to family, and I would get the runaround. Because I've met his family. He's introduced me now as his girlfriend, but he was afraid to meet my family. And he would say to me that, I'm afraid, I don't want to, I want to be dressed a certain way before I meet them. I want to, I want to meet them in better standards. I want to be able to be financially, stable so I can invite them out to dinner and things like that. And I was like, okay, sure, we can wait. And, after a long period of us waiting, I started to ask questions like, why haven't you met my family? Why haven't you, introduced me to some of your friends? Why am I not invited? So, because now I'm not invited out anymore. Why am I not invited? I'm out with my boys. I'm hanging out with family. I'm hanging out with friends. So why am I not invited to these little occasions or functions now? Was the questions I was asking myself at first. And then I started to ask him these questions. And the turnaround question was, it's because I'm out with my boys. I'm out with my friends. I just need to catch myself. I need some air. I need some space. And I think that I wasn't giving him enough space. So I kind of distanced myself and not pulled back away, but once every blue moon I would pop up, and I saw that the relationship was dwindling. Like it was getting cut short. And then when I do pop up at certain locations, or if I go to the club and he's to that club and I see certain actions that doesn't relate to our relationship and him being out and talking to other females, I kind of felt disrespected, but I was never the one to speak out on it. I never said anything, even if I saw something, or when I do say something, I am out of my mind. I'm crazy for thinking the things that I thought. So I was getting a runaround, and I didn't want to feel like, okay, Tanisha, you're insecure. You are second guessing everything. He's a good guy. And I kind of felt insecure about everything. And when I got to that point, I was like, okay, let me just slow it down. Maybe you need some more space. So I did that. And he had me to a point where I was, okay, this might be the end. But I didn't want to say that because I had so much faith, and I didn't want to start over. and I didn't want to allow my heart to try something new. Yes. So, and my mind to try something new. And once I'm emotionally attached to someone, I don't detach myself. Even if it's from a distance, I'm still emotionally attached to you. So that's so after a while, I I broke it off, and a few months later, found out that I was pregnant. Took a trip, traveled for a bit, maybe about 3 months. Came back home, and he was already engaged to someone after 3 months. But in my mind, I always felt that something was wrong, but in my heart, I didn't want it to be. Um, so after that, I kind of stayed to myself for a minute. I didn't explode. I didn't, argue about anything. I didn't do anything. So, and then the other thing, after everything happened, I had to work with him. I was working to a bar. He was the DJ. I was the cook. And I had to see everything with my own eyes. Leading up to that, I had a miscarriage. Um, and I was told that you didn't want that child anyway. But it's the difference between having a miscarriage and having an abortion. And for some reason, he never understood what that difference was. And for me, that was the first ever I had a miscarriage, and I was drained, emotionally drained, mentally drained. I was drained, but I knew I couldn't allow myself to go down or allow my energy to be negative or, you know, show people that, because I always feel the need to show, well, I was growing up to be positive, to always be positive, even if it's a negative situation. Yes, I might go through emotions. Yes, I might go through pain. We always smile through it all. Yes, it's difficult, but I know that, that's my character and that's what I do. But behind closed doors, nobody knew that I was on the urge of losing my mind. But I dropped everything and I just allowed myself to grow from that. And yeah, that's my story.
First of all, I've been through quite a few miscarriages myself. Off top, I can think of 3. They're always hard. They're always difficult. I'm sorry. Um, it hurts. I mean, granted, I'm not a woman, and I know how I felt. So with you, I'm like, as women, y'all actually have that attachment already, even before the child is born. So I can only imagine how you felt. I know how struck I was, and the child wasn't even in me, I damn. I'm sorry. And I'm like looking from your point of view, looking back at the situation, like it sounds like you, when you were cooking for an event where he was DJing, it was like you probably didn't even want to be there. Was he even
Nope.
aware? Was he aware at that time of everything that had happened?
Yeah, he was aware from the situation happened. he was aware that, I had my miscarriage. I just came back home from traveling because I went to North Carolina for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back home. And when I came back home, he was aware of everything because he was there through the process. Because when I asked him, what should I do? Even though honestly, I wanted to have an abortion because I was planning to stay in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to a facility where uh, I had this lady who helped me out with everything, and she was like, "You should have this child." And she didn't convince me or anything like that. But throughout the whole process, it was like I was hoping that, I do have this child. So
Yeah.
when I finally decided that I wanted to have this child, he was already seeing whoever and whatever. And every time I message or like say something to him towards me having this kid,
Mm-hmm.
he would say, "I'm busy, I'm at work, I'm doing this, I can't talk right now." And I have like this $2,500 bill, after being to the hospital in and out for like 2 weeks because I didn't even make it that far, how stressed I was.
Yeah.
So when I came home and I saw what was happening, I didn't want to be to an event, but I knew I needed money. So I just held my head and I continued to work.
Going back to the beginning of your story, looking back at the situation, like, what do you think was his real reason of why he didn't want to meet your family?
Because he didn't feel as if it wasn't a relationship between me and him. I think he thought, it was just like, a female that I'm talking to. So it wasn't official to him that we was in a relationship. So he didn't feel the need that he had to meet my family and things like that. So I think
Uh,
that's what it was.
do you think that there could have been a possibility that maybe he was stepping out on his primary relationship and messing with you?
Maybe.
Because I know,
Um, the reason why I said maybe is because he had 3 kids.
Mhm.
He, with his baby mother, and I was approached at one point, and she kind of said to me, "Oh, are y'all two dating?" I said, "Yeah." So when she said that to me, I said yes. So she didn't say anything else. She went back and approached him, and she was like, "What is going on?" and da 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 da, or whatever. And she called me afterwards,
Mhm.
and we had a decent conversation after I had to calm her down because she was unaware of who I was. And when we spoke, it was like, "I don't want you being around my kids. I don't want this happening." I had to correct certain situations because she didn't know details of the relationship or what
Mhm.
I thought was a relationship. So we had
Situationship.
that call.
That was a complication ship.
Yeah, that was a complication ship. And um, so when we spoke, and I was like, "Darling, we can have a decent conversation." And I think after that conversation, we kind of understood each other better. I was like, "Hey, I don't have any kids, but I love your kids because I do interact with those kids.
Mhm.
Um, it's because I'm dating their father, so they're gonna see me often, especially if you drop the kids off
Yeah.
to their dad." So after a while of me and her having a conversation, she said, "I just want to make sure that nobody is disrespecting my kids." And I understand that because it do happens. But uh, I, I kind of, we talked it over, we kind of meet up many times when I was by him, and she would drop the kids over and they would run to me and they wouldn't tell her bye.
Bruh.
But she understood them, that
Mhm.
they were being loved from another side. They just wasn't there being pushed aside or saying, well, I dating your dad, not you. No, that comes as a whole package. You come as a whole package. But I think the kids kind of love me more than the actual father himself. So yeah, that's a different story.
I mean, they say that children are a good judge of character.
Yes.
So I mean, in all honesty, like when me and you first met many, many moons ago,
Many.
that was a fun time. Um, like that was one thing I did notice with you. Like you are a loving soul, and I mean, in this day and
Yes.
age, there's not a lot of people like us, and I mean, we often get used and taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told you some things that have happened to me, and we've witnessed some things happen to each other. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just based off of us trying to see the good in other people.
Mhm.
Always, we can see the good in other people, but we're often trying to help that person see the good in themselves. And that's where
Yes.
it kind of comes back and F's us in the long run. Now, with it, I remember you saying that sometimes you would end up like talking to him, or sometimes you wouldn't say anything when you see him being overly friendly with other females and everything, when you thought that y'all were dating, that y'all were in a relationship.
Yes. Mm.
And then you would end up questioning yourself based off of his responses and everything. I'm like, yo, me and Dolly looked at each other, it was like gaslighting. And you know what gaslighting is, right?
Not really.
So do you want to say this one, Dolly? The definition of gaslighting?
Yeah. So pretty much gaslighting, and I wrote it down too, which is
I wrote it down too.
Gaslight. It's literally when somebody makes you like literally second guess your reality and what you saw.
Yes.
That's pretty much what gaslighting is.
Yeah. To tap a little more into that, pretty much when a person makes you feel bad for reacting to something that they did, making you seem like you're the person that's in the wrong. When you're literally upset, they did something to you, you respond or react to it, and then they make you feel like you're crazy for even acting the way that you're acting based off what they did, and ultimately not taking accountability for what they did, but putting blame on you, therefore causing you to be like, yo, am I that messed up one? And I mean, it's real hard not to end up self-doubting yourself when you don't have anybody else validating you on your response. So you're sitting there like, well, dang, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, why would he do this to me? Or why would she do this to me? Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm a little too clingy, or maybe I overreacted on talking to him about him cheating. Like, oh, I was in the wrong for that. Like, no, the fuck you weren't, you know? But if there's nobody there to tell you, like, no, you're right for that, then you're gonna be over here making yourself feel bad, thinking that you're a bad person for even confronting this person of the bull crap that they're doing. And I mean, I've been through that quite a few times, so I know exactly how that feels. Now, with it, throughout your story, because you said that he was engaged 3 months after the time that you broke it off, correct?
So when I before I left, I went to North Carolina. I didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't know anything of any such. And I left for 3 months. By the times I left and I came back, he was already engaged.
So right there, it sounds like he was already messing with this person before. Like you were the sneaky link. And the reason I say that is as many times as he would put you off, he'd say, I'm working and all this stuff. You never really can get in touch with him. From the beginning, from jump, it sounded like you were the one clearing your schedule to make time and plan dates and all this stuff. You were the one chasing, and this person was not really, you were fishing for Boss, and he was playing the role of an orca. In all honesty, like, true talk, no lie, it sounds like you were his thing on the side. Something to where when things were going bad with what he was dealing with, he had someone he can run to.
Yeah.
And I think in his mind,
that down the line. But
yeah, I feel like in his mind, he knew that you weren't something permanent. That's why he didn't want to meet your family. Because then if you met
yes.
your family, that's more people that possibly, because you got brothers and all that stuff. And I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's more people that will have eyes on him that could probably point out what's going on really. Or even so at the end of the day, that could be people who will sit there and be like, yo, let's ride. I mean, I've met some of your family. I'm not gonna lie, like some of them is writers. Some of them is writers. Like, yeah, some of them is writers. I know your brother. That I know he's a banger. From that cast he had on, that was not from just breaking your hand in a weird way. He
No.
had to have done a little something. That's a fracture. But yes,
No, he cut his major arteries and veins in his right arm by
yeah.
welding.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Woo. I would have to ask him personally how the hell he did that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Anyway, my mind, I'm a visual person, so I had to see it like, wait, hold up. With it,
Yeah.
going
And
back.
that's the story behind that. If we do tell a story, that's a story to tell.
Oh yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to talk to him. Because I mean, I only talked to him briefly when he came down. And that was with your cousin. I'll ask about her later on because I don't know. I felt like there was something with her, just something with her eyes just didn't feel right. Last time I saw her, but that was like a couple years ago.
Eyes. You
Maybe.
and eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I read eyes.
I know,
like
they are the gateway to the soul.
Yeah,
I know.
that's the big thing. And the thing that sucks is like back then it's like I could see it, but then again, I would look for the good in people. So even with my last situation, like everything in me was just like, run, nigga, run. And I was just like, pretty colors flying to the light like a moth and just zap. And I thought to myself,
but
royally.
Let me tell you a part that I didn't tell you.
What?
His mother, my ex's mother, she told me, and she keep rephrasing this to me, the way he treat me is how he's going to treat you. Just watch how he treats me. So yeah. So I kind of appreciated her saying that because now my eyes was open to see what was going on.
Yo, brother's mother told you was like, yo, he ain't shit.
Yeah,
literally.
Literally, she said, yo, he ain't shit.
But his mom said that though, like, damn. That was like flag on the play.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
She was the ref that said, yo, don't hold.
Technical foul.
Yeah, that's a technical foul. Run away. Holding, you need to get away. Holding. But I remember you talking about I remember you saying how you really had to hold yourself together and continue being strong, smiling and everything. I'm like, when it comes down to like Caribbean households, that's in our blood. Like we always try and keep our composure on things. We don't really let people see what we're going through. I mean, until it's like
the thing is, I let family see what I was going through. I wanted them to know that I was hurt.
Yeah.
But I didn't let no one else around me because I didn't want a conversation to start around me that this was going on. Most likely it was happening, but they didn't see that I was, maybe they saw that I was weak, or they saw that, oh, that's his ex and he's with his new boo. And I'm like, yeah, but she's not reacting.
Yeah.
You know, I had to make sure that wasn't happening because I don't want to be a regular black angry woman.
That part.
Like they say. Yeah.
So there's something that I've noticed that these particular types of people, these creatures is what we like to call them. What they do is usually after a breakup, shortly after they're on to their next supply, and with that they like to boast around with it and kind of show it off, like like they're hot shit type stuff. One, that's retarded. Two, I think the biggest thing is, I'm not sure if this happened with you, but usually like the lies that they end up spilling, making it seem like you're the crazy one and all that stuff, and that's why it didn't work out and whoop-de-woo, yada 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 type stuff.
No, I got the whole story afterwards, and he told me,
let's roll into it. Let's roll into it.
Yeah, so that's why I stay in my little corner. I didn't get angry. I didn't get upset. because karma is a bitch. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay.
So
Look, I've said like 4 to 6 cuss words already, so I mean, you're good, love.
okay, great. Yeah, so
This is
I
not
am
for
trying to
children,
get my
everyone. This is not for children. This is a
I'm trying to
we're
get
gonna
my
call it
life.
a PG-13 rating
R,
because
rated
children
in
these
R.
days and like children in like what 7th grade cussing and having sex and stuff. So I say
Oh
PG-13.
gosh.
Am
Okay.
I lying?
Oh gosh, come on.
No,
Like,
but
All right.
son, son. But
so
still,
yeah.
my
Birds and the
your
bees, baby
nephew.
girl. Birds and the bees.
So
So nasty.
after I started to collect myself, I got a job with one of my friends who I grew up with in school. Me and him is the same age, and I calling him boss, and she, we had a close relationship. I don't know what it was that made us close. I guess he sensed what was going on with me. Something was off, and I sensed that something was off with him. And the thing is, we had to, in a way, we grew a relationship to build each other. So he was helping me by giving me the job, and I told him that I only needed it for a couple months, and because I was traveling again, and he gave me the job and whatever. So after I got the job, I started to, gain myself and grow myself. And one day I was cooking and I saw this lady staring at me through the window. And I was like, hey, chef, this is weird. This is happening. Guess who it was? The Beyonce. And I'm like, why is she staring at me? Didn't say a word. I continued cooking. I saw the relationship dwindling slowly but surely. Months go by. It's my birthday. I don't know if one of my close family or friends said what my plans was, but I had a plan to go out this place and this place and this place. And for some reason, when we went to one bar that I usually go to, you want to say something? Okay. So when I was going to this bar that I usually go to, he was there, she was there, they was in the middle of the dance floor, and I was like, okay, great, here we go again.
Happy
my
birthday to you.
Here we go again. No, my sister came down the stairwell and she had a shot of tequila with her by the stairwell, and she was like, girl, I got this feel. Some shit is about to pop off in here. And I'm like, no. I take the shot because I felt what she said without her saying anything in that sense. And I enjoyed the hell out of my night. And one of my friends actually caught her in a video. And I sent that video to him months after. And I was like, hey, sorry, my friend kind of caught her. And she sent everything to me, and this is what I saw. I can't judge the woman, so, just wanted to know she looked good because she was actually dancing within the set. I think she's trying to be, I don't know, but I didn't care. Because at that point in my life, I was just rebuilding. I was just trying to get myself to a point where I am happy again. And my family and friends was making sure that I was to that point. And I just enjoyed my night. I went home, I slept, I wake up. Months after, I'm getting messages. Oh, how are you? I'm saying, hold on, how you get this number? Somebody ain't my friend. Somebody ain't my friend. How you get this number? I had 2 numbers. And I blocked and deleted from that situation. But he had my number. He hit me up and he was like, hey, it's not going well or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Because I really wanted to hear, I didn't want to hear about their relationship. I wanted to hear how he felt about the relationship. I wanted him to know that this is how I wanted him to know that how you feel about that person is how I felt about you. But I didn't make him feel bad for feeling that way towards her. So I sat down and I listened to what he was saying. I didn't give him any pointers. I didn't give him any suggestions of what he should do. I said, I hope that things go well. I hope you be able to fix the relationship between y'all two. Because at this point in my life, I'm beginning to become happy. So don't bring me into no bullshit again. So, like months after, he didn't talk to me as often. We kind of, it's not, Bahamas is really small. Every club you go to, you're most likely gonna meet someone you know. And here we go again. We back up. This is months after, maybe about 2 months after, and we had a brief conversation. He was like, "Things are going well. She's cheating on me, and da 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 da, and da 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 da." And I said, "Hey, that's okay. You go through hurt sometimes. Sometimes you gotta heal and grow. You know, um, I'm not judging you, but take some time and you know understand yourself. You don't have to be dating if you don't want to." I didn't tell him this, but just understand yourself. Don't force anything. Um, so he was like, "Okay, whatever. I still love you. I still care for you." I said, "Yeah, backup plan. There you go again. I still love you. I want you in my life. I don't want you to go anywhere or whatever." And it started to slowly but surely dwindle until there was no engagement. My phone was being ringed up, and I was like, "Yeah, you gotta go. I can't help you anymore. I only could do what I was told to do when I was trying to get out of my situation from you." So me being that genuine person that I am, I don't know why I still was in communication with him, but I was like, your heart needed to heal. I'm not going to be the one to heal it because I am damaged myself. So I can't have damaged goods and trying to heal someone who has damaged goods. So two damaged people can't heal each other. So let me build myself and then let me continue living my life. And I did that. So I packed up my little jolly bundle and I came to Washington, where I reside now. And my one of my friends hit me up and she was like, um, hey, this is what's happening over here. You know, he would really like to have a conversation with you. He's in the bar moping and crying and telling me all about you. I said, so what happened? It isn't the last reason why he's moping and crying. Is he telling you it's about me? Because it's not about me. He's just telling you it because he don't know where he fits. Because most likely she left him, and she saw what I saw. I tell her she's the thing is he dates Capricorns, and all of those who he dates, they have the same, like kind of the same idea that I have. Like his baby mother, she understood, oh, he's no good. So most likely, I'm thinking, because I didn't have any questions, I didn't ask about it, I didn't want to know. She felt that same way. And he makes himself feel like, oh, nobody checks for me, nobody cares for me, I may be the worst person on earth, nobody loves me, da da da. You had people who loved you, truly loved you. You just didn't see it. So that was the ending part, and I'm finally done with that situation. I'm not done with the miscarriage part. I'm still healing from that, but I'm done with the situation on its own. And I'm finding myself as a person again because I felt like I lost myself within a relationship or a situationship. But that was the end of that relationship, and I never tried dating again. So I'm here single and not looking for anything because I always the one who look. I think I'm the one who always looks for the person to date. I don't wait for the person to find me.
Bruh. Oh man. I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna write down something I wanted to say to that last part you just said. But I know Dolly wants to say something. I can feel it.
Me too. look
now.
hold it.
Look, I gotta listen. Look, you see this?
Yeah.
Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
I got stuff.
Okay.
Go on with it, Dolly. Go on with it.
Listen, for one, I have to say I am very proud of you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I am very proud of you for doing this. This right here was the best thing you could have ever done for yourself.
Yep.
I'm sitting here and I'm sure you see me and my brother like
I want to clarify for those because remember I'm not doing a video, doing audio. So for those, what she said for doing this, just like the song said, throwing out the middle finger and the index follows. So just so y'all know,
I wasn't doing the middle finger. Okay, I wasn't doing the middle finger. I was saying deuces.
Deuces.
That's what I was saying. Let me clarify for myself. Okay. Jeez, just kidding. You can do that. I'm not doing it. Anyways, there was a lot, and there was a lot of behaviors that him and I were picking up on from your story, not on your behalf, on your side, excuse me. The whole I said it when you were talking, I was like, love bomb, I knew was coming before you even said it. And I was like, oops, I thought I was muted, but I knew he was going to come back and love bomb. That is a cycle. It's a cycle. So there was the gaslighting, the getting your mental.
It starts with love bombing. It starts with the love bombing that's how they get you to that adornment stage to make you feel like, to pull you in. Then that's when the gaslighting starts happening. Then the stonewalling.
Mentally.
Yep. And
yes. Now to talk about the cheating piece of it. The cheating piece of it was the projection. Am I right or wrong, my brother? It was the projection. Oh no, it was her. It wasn't me. I didn't do that.
And one of those, it was his cousin rubbing on his thigh.
Never take accountability for it. It's always somebody else. It's never I did it, but I'm unhappy because she's cheating on me. When in actuality, he is the one that's doing the dirt. And he's projecting it off. That's projection. And then where he said the love bombing, he did all his dirt, and he was trying to lure you back in, and that's why I said I'm proud of you. When he came back and he was trying to tiptoe around, how you doing? Trying to cupcake. Boy, bye. That was the on-start of trying to feel his way around to see how far is she going to let me come back in, if I can get in or not at all.
That's testing those boundaries, to see if he still had that if he still had
that hold on you.
If he still had that trauma bond with you to where he can still end up leeching off of you to see if he that's what he was trying to do, because the narcissist will never the creatures will never fully get rid of you. They always want to try and keep some type of contact with you. So that way, when they have nothing else, they can start going through their little black book and trying to see, all right, who's going to bite? So that way they have somebody that they can go ahead and leech back onto to provide that energy, because that's the way that they operate. The only way they have such low self-esteem that they need somebody to leech off of to make themselves feel good. It's the same thing that a lot of bullies would do. They'll sit here and try and beat up other people to make themselves feel better because of whatever they're dealing with internally. And I mean, these creatures do the same dang thing. I mean, like I talk about it on my Divine Tea Time from time to time in the mornings, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I mean, if you want, you can hop on there. And I mean, it's all positivity, enlightenment. We be having good conversations. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you're going to get one of three things. Either you're going to have a good I was like, we're going to have a good intellectual conversation with an insight. I was like, we're going to be cracking jokes, having a good time. I was like, or either we're you can come on here and vent and feel a lot better by the time that you leave. Regardless of how the conversation goes, you're going to feel better and ready to go through your day at the end of the Divine Tea Time. But yes, I mean, that's something that these creatures do. They want to make sure that they always have some type of source
to fall back on.
Yes, you are considered their cushion.
Yeah, because
energy source. Their energy.
I could not do it.
Vampires.
So, what other questions you have for me, Miss Dolly?
Oh, girl, don't get me started. I like to talk.
Go ahead with your bad self.
So I want to ask you, I apologize for you going through or you going through what you're going through. I've never gone through having a miscarriage. So me personally, I don't know how that feels. I can only imagine how that feels, being a mother and losing a child. That I can. Oh, with that being said, how did you cope with that? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And still
with
having to reside and see and without knocking his block off.
so for me, that was a process. And with I had a lot of family issues around the same time too. So as I was getting ready to, I couldn't mentally take part of being where I was at that time because I was, as I said, I was in North Carolina, and I could not mentally be there anymore because I was around a lot of males, and they didn't understand where I was with my cousins, and they didn't understand that, this is hard for me. This is really hard for me. I need to be around my siblings. I need to be around my sisters, you know. Um, and with me, I just left, came back home. I went around the people that I know truly cared, and kind of was not for my sisters, but maybe my father judged me in a way. Like he saw that I was losing. He saw that I was losing my, like I was in myself, was in my mind. And he was like,
Okay.
he went to all the, like, my sisters, and he was like, hey, um, your sister's going crazy, so come check upon her. So I'm like, me and my sisters are very close, and we talk every day. So each one of those, after he made the appearance, calls, and then it's like, are you okay? I said, why are you calling me like this? Like, I know it's not, you're calling me, and it's not it's a random call. It's not like a mutual calling that we usually do. And they told me the situation behind it. And I was like, I'm not okay, but, I'm going to be fine. And if I go on and on about this, yes, we go into 3 different stories. No, but
You can
I was
talk
not
about
okay.
whatever you're comfortable with, Tanisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the question is, like, what did you do? Like, some people meditate, some people, they pray, like they had a counselor. Like, how did you cope
what
with
did I
that? Like, I'm sure, yeah.
be in the 4 walls of me going home after every time I go to the bar, I see them, and go home. I in the beginning, I just used to like punch walls and like cry, and then after a while it was more, okay, calm down, Tanisha, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. This didn't work out for a reason. This didn't work out for a reason, and I just accept the fact that it happened. I'm always going to have the memory of what I was going through, but I don't have to deal with that person anymore. I don't have to interact. I don't have to interact with him anymore or anything like that. So I kind of accept that fact, and I just forgave. I forgave. I forgave
Forgiveness.
I forgave I forgave myself first
Mm-hmm.
for putting myself
Good.
in that situation with dating, and saw all the signs, and I didn't leave. Then I forgave him. Not for what, and not, I forgave him not for what he have done for me. I forgave him for showing me better. Like, I can do better. I was like, okay, I know how to choose better this time.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so I couldn't. Well, my nephew is calling me. Hi. Hi. So yeah. So I forgave him, and I think that's what kind of made me accept the fact that this happened, It's time to move on. And I never, this little boy jumped through the window. I wouldn't believe that. Sorry. Sorry.
I can edit that out.
Okay? Yeah, so. But he's okay.
Let me stop.
Sorry. Wow. I hear him calling me.
Oh my goodness. But hey, what I wanted, so I had
your mom and dad
somebody tell me back in the day. Like I went through 3 miscarriages. Yeah, I went through 3 miscarriages, and with that, I had somebody tell me, they were like, look, when you find the right woman, she'll be able to carry your children. When you find the right woman who's supposed to be for you. And here I am now with 2 kids. Woohoo! But I mean, it really does suck.
After you said you didn't want no kids.
Say what?
After you said you didn't want any kids.
Well, I mean, you saw the caliber of people I was dealing with back in the day too. And you also
I was supposed to be the rich Annie, so
yeah, I'm just saying, like Dolly knew me as a child, so why would I want another little niglet that was like me mixed with somebody else? So it's like I can only imagine. But I mean, luckily, I know how I was, and I gotta say I'm blessed. My kids are not okay. My son is not as bad as me. My daughter, on the other hand, oh my gosh, that's me. That she is me. I cursed myself. But yes, like with it. It was a blessing and a lesson. I mean, everything that happens is a blessing or a lesson. And I mean, in this case, it's like it was a lesson that you lost a child, but it was also a blessing because one of 2 things would have happened. You would have been there left to raise the child by yourself, or he would have
had to deal with the dad.
Yeah, you would have had a very toxic co-parenting situation.
Yeah.
With someone that it sounds like you really don't want to deal with, you know?
Yeah. So in a way, I was gracious about it, and I was hurt about everything that happened, but I think I was okay with dealing with. I think that pain grew me. That pain of having that miscarriage grew me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
It made me understand that women can take the hardest set of pain and be take the hardest set of pain and can push through that. And some people can do it gracefully.
Can I be funny, serious,
facetious,
funny and serious at the same time?
Yes.
I'm like, I always say this, like people be like, man, you a pussy. I'm like, bro, you saying I can snap back from anything. Cause I mean, if you think about it, like you think about a vagina, it's like, it can go from literally giving birth and then still snap back and make a man come in 3 seconds. I'm like, when it comes down to a penis, you pluck that thing and the dude drops on the ground screaming in pain. I'm like, so I feel like if someone calls me a pussy, I'm like, I take that as a compliment. You call me a dick, that's an insult. That means I'm weak and I can't handle shit. So I mean, like, in all honesty, yes, women, y'all are a different breed. Like y'all are strong.
I said childbirth.
Yes.
I mean, because a lot. I'm like come to death.
Facts. I mean, a man will sit here and cry and want to die from trying to pass a kidney stone, and y'all passing literally something that's the size of a freaking orange through a little pee hole. I commend y'all. I commend y'all. Like y'all got
And the thing is, it opened up with me having that conversation, and I don't think women talk about miscarriage a lot because it's a difficult conversation. But when I told my family that was happening with me, my mom opened up, my dad opened up. Like it opened up a connection with my family and I didn't know stories about them that they went through the process and what happened when they went through the process, and this is how he felt and this is how she felt. Both sides gave me their story and made me feel better about myself, because I started to be like, okay, why is my body? Is it my body? Is it my mind? Was I too stressed? I started questioning myself about it, and I was like, it happens. It's a natural thing that happens. Sometimes it happens regularly, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe your body's not adjusted and trying to get, I'm trying to figure it all out, but it made me more closer to my family. And that's what I appreciate about when everything happened. I appreciate about it most. It made me closer to my father. It made me closer to my mother. So I was grateful for that.
Definitely a blessing.
That is a blessing right there. That is a blessing.
Yeah.
You always got to see the light in any situation, and I mean in any situation. If you can find that
a glimmer,
it could be this small. If you can find that and you hold on to that, that can get you through anything. Listen, look, I was with my brother when I brought this. I love this thing. Let your light shine. You see him? Mm-hmm. He saw it. He was like, real, because I'm always saying, let your light shine. This is my saying. Let your light shine. You can find a glimmer, and I don't care how big it is, and pull yourself out of that hole. It can be done. And especially if you surround yourself with like-minded people that know you and that genuinely love you, and that's going to pour into you, that's going to sow into you and encourage you. They're going to build you back up because they know you. And so when you're saying, I went home to be with my mom and my dad and my sisters, and they help pretty much put the blocks back together. That's, what I'm saying? That's what family is for. Like, my brother read me. He said, Rel, you are not yourself. Like, you need to figure out who you are, get back to your true identity. I didn't even tell you this today. It's not about me right now, but I'm going to share this because it goes along with what she said.
Insight.
Somebody told me today in church, she was like, I don't know what's going on with you. And I'm like, what did I do? She was like, I don't know what you're doing and what's going on, but you are so beautiful. Like, your skin is glowing. Your smile. And I was just like, I just want my face. Like, I don't have no makeup on. I've got some lipstick, some eyeliner, and some mascara. Like, I don't have nothing on. You know what I'm saying? So for a female, it's like, this is me, y'all. Like, this ain't nothing.
I woke up like that.
You know what I'm saying? I woke up like this. And I was like, she's like, what have you been doing? I said, I've been on my face.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
I've been on my face.
You've been
today when I was in church, because I went to church today too. All I could think of is have a voice, speak out, and I keep hearing it over and over, and I'm like, why? What story I have to tell? And now Donley came and he messaged me, and I was like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm down. So now I'm understanding why I keep saying that to myself, or why I keep hearing that. And I was like, questioning why I need to have a voice, what I need to speak out on. Someone else need to hear a story similar to what they've been through. And my story might be their story or close to their story. So if I can help anyone else, I'm going to open my mouth and say it,
This is why I do this. This is literally, I swear, this is like my calling. This is my passion. Like, I've been telling Dolly for a long time. I'm like, look, I'm always the one that people go to tell, but that they tell their stories to and everything. I was like, I'm always the one providing, like, I'm always the ear to listen. Yeah. I was like, with that,
and I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, I tell the reason I opened up my podcast to allow people to tell their stories, because I'm like, all the things that I have gone through in my life, and then I always end up providing insight to other people, and I always end up helping them. I'm like, yo, everybody has a story. We all live in different realities, but when we come across other people, that's when the realities merge, And I'm like, we all have a story, we all have a voice. When you tell what you have gone through, you can be literally saving somebody else's life who might be going through the same thing, thinking that this is the end. They cannot do anything else about this. That little light that Dolly was talking about, let your light shine, to be able to pull themselves back up from hearing how you overcame the situation that you went through.
Yep.
While at the same time, you might have somebody else who can learn from what you have gone through, to where if they listen to this, they recognize the signs of the things that you have said of something that ends up happening later on. And then they're like, nah, this and this end up happening to this person, which probably wouldn't have happened to me. Or even if they can't use that knowledge, they can turn it into wisdom and pass it on to somebody else who might need to hear that at that time,
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just like, look, it all happens in divine time, just like how the podcast is called. And I mean, the way that everything literally flows, like, for example, I'm not trying to make this about me at all, but when I end up leaving Washington State, I end up traveling through North Carolina and like seeing family members. And before I end up getting to my destination where I was trying to go, and everybody kept telling me like, yo, you're where you're supposed to be. And every single time that I ended up landing where I was there helping somehow in a situation that was going on at where I was at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I landed one place and I ended up helping these people like with their marriage. And I also got to see like my nephews too. So I mean, I was like real close to where I could see my nephews and stuff. So that was a big plus because family is big with me. And I mean, you saw me like in Washington State. I had no family there. And it was like my ex-wife and her brother, pretty much family was there. I had a lot of bad memories in that state. Everywhere I would go, I was getting reminded of bad crap. So it was highly annoying. And I being by my family helped me come back to myself. I was able to get that little zap from my roots that really helped me smile again. Then I ended up going to another place, and when I ended up going to that place, I ended up seeing like I was with like my aunt and my uncle-in-law, and that allowed it to where they can do what they were able to do what they wanted to do because I was able to stay there with my grandma. And then that allowed me and my grandma to get so much closer. That allowed me to learn a lot more about our family and a lot of gifts that I have. And now me and my grandma are like white on rice. Like I'm gonna say brown on rice because white rice is bleach. It's not actual. It's not
brown
real,
rice.
to be honest with you.
Brown rice. I had brown rice yesterday. It's good. Okay.
Did you put some? Did you sprinkle some orange on it? You cook it with orange?
No, but I'll try it next time.
Yeah, do that. It's bomb. But make a meal.
I had
Tell me that trick.
Ooh. Yes, it's bomb, girl. It's bomb. All right, anyway, but yes, I'm like with it, everything happens for a reason. And I mean, you coming on to the podcast today telling your story, it might reach somebody, and then they might reach out to you if you end up have a way to where they can reach out to you, or even so, like I said, I'm like, you might be able to enlighten somebody to where now they're like, you know what? She has just helped validate what's going on in my life to let me know that I'm not crazy. She has helped me see that there is a way out of this. She has helped me think of other ways to how I can start healing myself and get on my self-love journey to where I can really get back into loving myself and stop being the chaser always and allow somebody to actually come to me. Because when you look for something so hard, you can't find it. But when you stop looking for it, it pops up out of nowhere.
But sometimes it's like, how do I know that I'm ready for it this time?
Hey, it's the same. It's like a lot of people say, they're like, yo, you never can really be prepared for a child. It kind of just happens. I mean, with it, there's things where it's like we have to learn, because whenever you do get into a relationship, you have to learn that person. I mean, and a lot of people try and rush into things these days. I'm like, you need to go through a process. Like, okay, let me get to know you. Take some time getting to know you. Like with me, I don't even like try and me personally, if I'm trying to get to know somebody, I'm not even looking into the sex. I'm like, I want to know who you are as a person. I want to know your essence. I want to know your soul. I want to know what makes you happy, what makes you sad, how you act when you're happy, when you're sad. What can I do to help you when you are in these types of situations? Because in all honesty, if I feel like there's nothing I can bring to the table but a knife and a fork, I can't do nothing for your life. And if I know that I cannot love you the way that you need to be loved, then I'm not going to hold you up from actually finding your Prince Charming.
Yep.
That's where I'm at in life. I'm like, sex is not something that I really even want. That right there is if we're manifesting something together to where we are entangling on our souls on a higher level, to where we look down at the world and we're like, this is the things that we have manifested before us. But anyway, whoopsies. Sorry.
You gotta know yourself first,
I know. Though. I let you go because you hit the nail on the head. And
I started flying there.
I knew to hear some of the things you were saying.
But yes, I mean, you won't know if you're ready. But at the same time, through the situations I've been through, I had to learn to listen to myself. We know what's good for ourselves. With it, if you can't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. Now, when it comes down to it, you really have to learn to love yourself, because when you learn to love yourself and really dive deep into yourself, you'll know what's right for you. And that's part of having those boundaries as well. Because if you run across somebody and you lay out to them like, yo, I'm not going to tolerate this, and they're tiptoeing trying to see how much they can actually can I put a foot over this boundary? Look, one of the things me and my partner said is we're never going to leave each other unless we disrespect one another. And we know what disrespect is towards one another. So if we ever disrespected each other, that means that we are done with you. Because I love you so much, I won't disrespect you. And if I willfully disrespect you, that means I don't want nothing else to do with you.
Yeah.
That's our way of saying it's done. And I'm like, when it comes down to it, I feel like that's how a lot of relationships should be. It's like if you love someone or you really want to be with the person, you're not going to do anything to make them sad on purpose, make them mad on purpose.
Yes.
You know?
True.
Yeah. And within my situation with me calling out a family member and telling her, this is my sister, and telling her that I was actually having this miscarriage. She was actually telling me that she was pregnant. Darnley, you know me. And that is my twin sister. So I'm like, hit and miss.
Hey, you know what's good though about that situation?
What's good?
You get to play with a child, and when it pisses you off, you can pass it to his parents.
Yep. I said the same thing. I said, hold on.
It's like, you know what? You're dealing with all the heartaches that I would have had to deal with. So thank you for taking the hard part. I get the cute and cuddly parts.
Yeah. Like you give me about 10 minutes, 15, 30, drop them off.
Oh, Poosplosion, here you go. Your turn.
No, but you were saying something earlier about my cousin's eye.
What'd you say?
You said something earlier about the look in my cousin's eye.
Yeah. The last time I saw her, it looked like she was battling something. We could talk about that offline. I just wanted to make sure that she was good. That was really it. I just remember that she had like a dark gloss over her eyes, and that had kind of worried me a little bit. But I didn't want to say anything because like I knew of her a little bit, but we didn't have that type of connection, you know?
Yeah. Trust me, I know you knew.
Yeah.
I know you knew a little.
But she really hated me for like a good little while until she like got to know me a little bit. I was like, I'm not okay, but yeah. She really judged me based off of my occupation at the time.
That's a topic. But I didn't understand why it was so much hatred. But I was completely lost. You know, as I say, I'm a genuine person, so I don't look at just the bad. I was trying to figure what was happening, but now I know what is happening and what had happened. So now when I explain that to you a bit later, you maybe will understand why. You know, there was so much hatred.
Well, we still talking about the cousin situation? I feel like personally, she's probably gone through some things and she probably felt that was going to happen to you. So she was doing her best to protect you from that.
Yes.
So, I mean, that was the conclusion I came to. And I was just like, okay, that's the reason why I never got upset with her. Because I mean, I know what it's like out there. And then at the same time, it didn't help the fact that at the time I was still active in the Marine Corps. And I mean, when it comes down to single Marines and stuff, or when it comes down to the military, single military people, they like to fuck, fight, and drink. So it's like, of course, me being in the Marine Corps, we're known for that type of stuff. And it's like, ultimately, you're going to end up, a lot of people will think that we're all the same. And I mean, I have a lot of people tell me, they're like, you're not like other Marines. I'm like, that's something I wore on my chest, but that does not define me as who I am as an individual.
Amen.
So, but yeah, I can understand. I mean, we're a lot of us are thrown into the same category and think that we all do the same things. And so that's why I wasn't upset with her. And I was like, look, eventually, I told her one time, like, we was over at Champions, and I told her one time, we ended up like smoking a spliff together once, and I ended up telling her, I was like, look, I don't know if you still got like those hard feelings towards me and everything. I was like, but hopefully as time has gone by, you've noticed that I'm not how you thought that I probably was.
Yes.
So. Yes.
And the thing is, I wanted y'all two to have a decent like communication between each other. Maybe she would understood the person who I met. And we both was going through something at that time, and that's how we get more understanding of each other. So I wanted her to meet that person so she can go through the healing process of us.
But it was, I'm sorry, it was still mad funny the way she came over there all mad and stuff when me and you were just sitting there talking. Like she really thought something was going on. We sitting there talking and laughing and like that was mad funny though.
Yeah. It was a long night.
Yeah, good times.
Old times.
But that was your birthday. That was your birthday weekend too, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you was fucked up.
Let's not talk about it.
Dolly's so lost. It's all right, Dolly. I met her. Oh gosh, was this 20?
Well, I kind of figured out you were still in the military, so that had to be like
it was like 2014. I was going through a divorce at that time.
Yes.
Because I had already
13.
moved off base and everything. But yeah, so it was. Yeah, we both were going through stuff, and we were talking pretty much just like making each other feel better through conversation. And it was the fact that she was drunk, and then we were sitting in my car talking.
He let me try some Trinidadian rum, and you know,
I think it might have been punching. It might have been punching. But no, she was drinking. She was drinking before already in the bar.
So when I walked back in, I was totally out of it. And then my cousin still wanted me to drink on top of what I was going through already. And I told her, I said, hey, I am already to my limit. But then I didn't want her to feel like, okay, she's out here doing this alone. So I continued drinking. Talking about that, I saw their old roommate just yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's
yesterday. Up. So I was like, I know you. McLeod's. He said McLeod's. And I said, oh, yeah. And then you know how I really knew it was him? He used to like sing.
Yeah, he can sing.
I was like,
romantic
I was like, okay, now it's clicking. Everything is clicking. It's going back. You know, so I like, having good memories. It was a little rough memory, but it was like good memories of me and you before all the extra other stuff. But no,
I mean, I'm just happy. I'm happy because it's like a lot of connections that I end up like creating with people, with other genuine people. They last for years. For years. And I mean, here we are now in like 2023, and I met you in like what 2016, like 2015, 2016, end of 2015, 2016ish, and I'm like, yo, oh my god, it's been over 6 years. Yep. Like that's what I'm talking about. And it's like I think of the situation I dealt with, and these people had 2 character statements, and in both of their little character statements, both of their people that they consider friends said that they lost communication with them for like 10 years. Yeah. And then it's been like a year now that they like reconnected. And I'm like, I had like 9 people who I have known from anywhere between the shortest person I'd had on there. I knew him for about like 7 months. That was only because he kind of just came into our life. But other than that, everybody else I had in there, I knew them for a minimum of 3 years, ranging all the way to now 9 years. So, I mean, it was wild. And I'm just like, that's one thing that I had learned. I was like, when it comes to these creatures, they don't have, you know how they say you can learn a lot about a person by seeing the 5 people that they hang closest to? A lot of them don't even have 5 people that they actually can call friends. A lot of them have like the onesies and twosies, or they have like some people from childhood that they have lost contact with, or there's like they've known somebody for a couple months. They don't keep people in their life long enough for people to see who they truly are. So I'm like, that might have been a reason why you weren't able to come out and chill with his friends and all those types of things.
Mm-hmm. He didn't want me to see who he really was, because if I had gone around his friends, and he know that I'm a person, I'm very observant. Mm-hmm. And when I do meet people, I just sit down and I just watch your character and see how you react to certain things. If you laugh at this joke that I don't think it's, really funny, or like it depends on who you are around. So I think once I realized that he didn't want me around, those set of people. He actually brought me to the right person, his mother. And when he brought me closest to her, that's when I knew it was time for me to go. That's when I knew. And she would look at me a certain way and she would just nod or like little body languages. And the reaction, when she do get the reaction out of him, then she look at me like, this is what you're going to get. She didn't say anything. This is what you're going to get, you know? So I kind of accepted and I appreciate, oh my gosh, I appreciate her so much for just showing me the body language. Like she know that we all, in some way, shape or form, go through some ups and downs. And she wanted me to get out of it before it became worse. She already know every other situation he's been through because he's a mama's boy. So, yeah.
All right. With it, I think we're coming close to the end, towards the close, I shall say. Dolly, do you have anything else that you would like to ask or anything that you'd like to say?
I did want to go back and say, like, I think you said something about when will you be ready?
Yes.
To kind of go back out there. Yes. I want to circle back to that because my brother took it and he was in divine time with it.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But that's who he is. You know, he can't help it. That prophetic.
I let him talk. I always have the listening ear when he do speak because he was one of the people who helped me go through a lot of the things that I went through already. I heard him, he heard me. And when he actually listened, because he listened to every word that was coming out of my mouth, I said, I'm not going to lose him as a friend because I know at the end of the day, he listens.
You're going to make me blush.
He can't help it. He can't help it. And maybe one day he'll tell you stories of how, as kids, what we used to do and for one another as children. So it's funny how literally in a aha moment, how things are literally coming back to our childhood. This is what we used to do as kids with each other. And we literally are starting to do that again. Like we used to sit here, we are, I'm not gonna say I'm about to cry. We are each other's person. That's my person and I'm his person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my blood brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm his blood sister. This ain't this is my brother off the street. No, this is my brother. You know what I mean? Like, this is my brother. Okay, we got these together. This is my brother. So when he says this is my sister, like, that's my little nigga right there. You know what I mean? Like, real talk.
I know. I'm here.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm here now.
For him.
I'm here now with mine. So, and I know he's going through a rough patch. Yeah, so I'm here with mine, and I know he's going through a rough patch. So I'm gonna be the sister that pops up and make sure that you're okay, got you. He don't have any family here other than, his wife, and she won't understand our culture. So I had to bring the culture here, So now he's reminded of home. Now he could actually have a conversation without feeling like his dialect is too strong, So I make his day a bit easier. He makes my day a bit easier. I don't have to be around anyone I don't want to be around. But I work like a convenience store, so I see people every day, interact with people every day. So I love it because I love to meet new people, and I love to give off my good energy off to anyone that walks towards me. Before you get to me, you will feel my energy. You would feel my energy. I'm like, hi. You're like, not today. People look at me like, not today. How you doing? But I like the fact that do happen. So if you do have an off day, that there is somebody that might hear you or listen to you. So when you do come to me and you tell me what's going on, even if it's a whole line back up, with people standing there miserable and angry, I'm like, hey, you can step aside. We can talk. Let me just catch them up. We can talk. But I want to make sure that anybody who's around me that has a genuine spirit or even has an off spirit that might just not be their day, that they can have someone to talk to. And I might be that person. If it ain't God, it's me. or anyone else around.
Never know.
So,
Never know. That is awesome. That
but
is
Dolly,
awesome.
you was about to touch up
Yeah, what was I gonna say?
on the getting back out there.
Getting back out there.
Yes, I got sidetracked. I looked at you and got sidetracked. I got in my feelings a little bit.
Yes.
No, what I was gonna say was, yeah, you asked a question regarding, or I believe it was a question or a statement.
It's my turn.
Yeah, regarding as far as when you should go back out there, or step back out there. Two things. I'm glad you said about you going to church, because I can throw this out there. I always wait for that. The word says, a man that findeth a wife find a good thing. Don't be chasing after no man. Let him come to you. That's the first mistake us women make. Okay. And I only say that because, and he can tell, our D can tell you, I was one. I'm like, oh, no. Your posture, I wait. But in that posture, when you go through that hurt, that deep hurt and that pain, we have to heal. Find who you are. Find Tanisha, what you like, what you don't like. Like he said, your boundaries, what you're willing to take, what you're not willing to take. But mainly, what do you like to do? Find yourself, solidify yourself. I went through years ago, I went through a very abusive relationship where I almost died. And I had to find me. I had to find my identity again. Because if not, the next person that I would have dated, I would have repeated that cycle again.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Sometimes we as human beings, we feel like we have to have somebody by our side to keep that bed warm all the time. But a lot of times it's yourself. You are enough. You are sufficient. Ain't nobody going to do you like Jesus, but ain't nobody going to do you better than yourself. And I mean in the sense of treating yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. So I wanted to take that back to take yourself, take time for yourself, find out what you like to do. And remember, our posture as a woman, you can come to me, boo. I'm not chasing after no man. The only person that you should ever chase after is God. That's it. That's how I feel. And as we like to say in Divine Tea Time, I align my plane with that.
As I pick up my cup. As I pick up my cup, it's tea time.
And so we do Divine Tea Time on Clubhouse every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. If you still have Clubhouse, because I know you've been on there a few times. So I mean, if you ever want to jump on there for some positivity, some good conversation and stuff, I mean, come join us. Tap in. I mean, right now I think I'm gonna end up turning it over to Dolly for the morning sessions. And I'm probably going to do the evening ones because I'm usually working during that time. And I want to be able, if I'm doing it, I want to be able to give like my full undivided attention, you know?
I appreciate that. Yeah. And I would love to get to know your sister.
Come on in the morning. I'll be sitting there like, I need somebody to
cracking up.
I truly feel, energy through the phone. And I feel like we'll connect. Certain stories will hit. We will be emotional. You would understand. We will connect.
I am a crybaby.
Me too.
I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah. I swear, if I go on there and listen to the replays and y'all over there boo-hooing the whole time, I'm like, man, come on.
It'll be good stuff.
What are y'all crying about? They got rid of the Popeyes chicken sandwiches, man.
Oh no, that's fat people stuff. Edit that out. That was not nice. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're so rude for that. What would the old auntie say to us? The old auntie would have sat on you for that.
Auntie, no, this is what old auntie would have said. Ooh, baby, I got Popeyes.
Crazy. But hey, with that, I have a question for you, Tanisha, real quick before I end up closing this episode out.
Yes.
Through all of this, what did you learn?
Oh, that's a question. I learned never to give up on myself, on the person that I'm going to be, the person who I am today, and the person who I was in the past. The past is always going to be the past, but it's always a lesson. And I take everything as a lesson. I don't, get angry about nothing. I just move forward. And I don't put negative energy on people that who doesn't deserve it. Because, I might have been going through something, but everybody doesn't have to feel that I'm going through something.
Yeah.
So I try to be more positive, and I've learned that, your happiness starts with you. So I have to learn to love myself all over again, then I'll have to do that. It's okay to start over. So
now
it's okay to start over.
with it, for anybody who is listening, what would you want to leave them with? What would you want to tell anybody who's listening?
Make sure you love yourself first. And if you are in a relationships, try to read the signs. If it's going good, if it's going seem a little off, ask questions, ask yourself questions, and then look, observe, and see if your questions is going to be answered with whoever. Be positive, smile, be genuine to yourself and everyone around you. No matter if you're having a bad day, no matter if they're having a bad day, be genuine. And the thing is, if you're hurt and someone else is hurt, it's going to get rid of or lessen up. You hurt a little, talking about it. It's okay to talk about what you're going through. It could be anyone, even if you just have to take a silence for yourself, then do that. If you need a breakaway, then take a breakaway. But be you. Don't change yourself for no one else. Please.
All right. With that is an episode of Divine Time. That is a small little portion of Speak Your Truth with Tanisha. We all have a voice. Don't ever stop yourself from telling your story. You never know who you may help. You never know who you may inspire. You never know whose life you possibly could save. Relax your mind. It's Divine Time.
Yay.